everybody, and welcome to another episode of Life with Lily. And this one has been wildly anticipated with Swamp Witch Stephanie, and we are going to be talking all about self-care and not just the glamorous stuff that we know we are capable of. We are going to get down and nitty-gritty and all into it. So we are going to have Swamp Witch Stephanie. Hello, my darling. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing just lovely. So let's have you just introduce yourself, a little bit about you, why self-care is important to you personally.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I am Swamp Witch Stephanie. I also go by Marcus Ironwood. As you can see, I'm not the fabulous drag queen that I am sometimes known to be. That was just a lot for today. But yeah, I'm a witch. I have a 9 to 5, although it's more like an 8 to 4. I also own my own, I guess, self-care brand is definitely one way of describing what Swamp Witch Stephanie offers. We have a lot of different, I have a lot of different products for what we may consider some of the more physical aspects of self-care. Homemade soaps, which infuse spa clays like green clay, red clay, those kind of things, as well as face masks, bath salts, although those are kind of on back order right now. They're a little bit labor intensive, but I really put a lot of thought and energy into them. So yeah, so you had asked why self-care is important to me. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else is going to. If you don't, no one's going to take care of you if you're not able to take care of yourself. And that's a pretty blanket statement, but self-care can look like a lot of different things. It's not just fancy soaps and stuff and mud masks. It's a whole lot of other things.
Yeah, and I think during your introduction, you brought up a good point that to get into the Swamp Witch Stephanie regalia, it takes effort. And so even today, doing this episode, you chose self-care over pushing too hard. And I think it's important that we address that that's what you prioritize, and that's important. Like, I would much rather you come like this than just be like, all right, I got everything on and the wig is I'm good.
The hair is still in a braid.
Yeah, so that it truly is self-care, and that's what we're rocking. We don't care what it looks like. And it's not just, I think a huge myth that we should address right away, like point the ugly elephant in the room, is whatever, oh my God, it's a spa day, it's a massage, it's a pedicure, it is those things. It absolutely is. It's also rest. Those of you who have watched this episode before, you know that right behind this camera is what I call my nest. And it is not glamorous. It is a bunch of pillows and blankets just huddled up like Big Bird. Just, and that is how I zone out.
That sounds awesome.
It is. I'm an upturned turtle, like balance the bowl and just eat. But that's self-care to me. Like, that is part of it. And it is not glamorous. If someone walked in and saw, I clean up the nest before people come over because I'm afraid they may judge.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally get it. For me, self-care is a lot of, like you just said, almost planning this. Oh no.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. For me, self-care, like in just this act, I really wanted to show up. Like, showing up is a part of getting what done, and getting done is part of self-care. I wanted to show up for this interview. I wanted to be present and everything. But I knew that on a Wednesday, after working all day long and putting 3 hours into drag, ooh, I didn't have it. But I did do a little something.
I had someone tell me some really good advice about makeup, and it was, if you want to learn how to do makeup, don't ask a mom, ask a drag queen.
Right.
You ask the expert how to do your face.
Right, because they're gonna drag queens, especially if if the makeup and artistry of that is kind of part of their skill set. Not all drag queens are, but a lot of them are, they're going to know how to go, okay, yeah, go from, you can go super soft all the way to like high glam and crazy. But if you're going to ask a drag queen, make sure you're your friend and compensate them, because it is a lot of effort and it's a lot of work. Like even just this took 30 minutes.
Yes. And that is a good point with any form of like self-care or learning to do self-care. If someone is teaching you, compensate them. It's a fee, a fair exchange of energy. So whether it's a trade or a barter or money, to always make sure that it's balanced, because if your self-care comes at the cost of someone else, is it real self-care?
It can be, yeah, I mean, in some ways, but like, yeah, exactly. It's that equal exchange. Like, if you're getting a massage, you're paying that person. Like and generally you're paying that person some pretty good money. You're buying a locally made soap or mud mask. Just to throw that out there. You could certainly buy one of those from a certain drag queen that I may or may not know. But yeah, exactly. But it doesn't always have to involve money. It can be your nest, or for me, it's self-care is about making sure that I have everything set up so tomorrow can be a success. One of the biggest things that I learned in therapy, also a mode of self-care, is it can be therapy, is identifying what my one therapist called keystone behaviors. So for me, it's making sure that the night before I've got my lunch packed, I've got my coffee set to go in the morning, I've got my gym bag packed, and I've got everything just ready to go for that first 30 minutes of the day. And then the rest of the day can be fine.
Yeah.
If I don't do those keystone behaviors, then that next day is going to start off on the wrong foot, which might a couple of days in a row of doing that. Now I'm creating a pattern of problematic behavior, or I'm creating a situation where I'm adding undue stress onto myself. And so self-care for me on a daily basis looks like, packing my lunch, making sure my coffee's right, going to the gym, taking care of myself in that way. And then taking a rest day, like Wednesdays are my rest day. I'm not sweating today.
Not on purpose. We still live in Minnesota, but not on purpose.
Yeah, I was walking around the grocery store. I was pretty sweaty just walking around. So.
Definitely. So I bopped the website for Swamp Witch Stephanie down at the bottom. Please visit. And I want to do my little side tangent already, because I'm already getting distracted by it. So this is one of the things that I bought, and it's where's my camera? The uncrossing oil. And I love it not only because it smells good, but because energetically, when I unpackaged it, I could tell that it was powerful and potent enough for me to use for my personal and professional life. And so like that was something that I got just for me. And the other things that I got from the store was face masks. And I got one for me with frankincense, because that is my favorite smell. Yes. But actually, one of these stories, I don't even know if Swamp Witch Stephanie knows this, but the real pivotal thing that made me really respect you as like a self-care expert was when you helped my mom. So we came into the store, and she needed to have dental work done, and she would not be put under. She would not have any kind of Novocaine, anything. She wanted to use aromatherapy. And just use lavender, just use this. No, you went in, you had her smell, I think, 12 different scents, and you honed in on what she needed, and then you paired two of them together. And that is still, to this day, what she uses for her sleep, for her medical appointments.
Yeah, I think I remember that now. Yeah.
Yes. And it is one of your face masks.
Wonderful. That's right.
And so she got that as a gift. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, in the cart. And I gave it to her before she went on a trip to go take care of sick family members. And she was like, oh, this is nice. I'll use it when I get back. And I just kind of looked at her. She was like, I'm not going to put it in my purse. How about you take that self-care with you? It was, for me, that was a big turning point in our relationship. Like, we've always been colleagues and everything like that. But seeing how well, and your expertise in like, it really is not generic or cliche with you. You believe that self-care is whatever any one person needs at that time or in general or routine. And the way you pointed that out, like no one else has done that with mom. And you know how much I love my mom.
Yeah, you are very close to your mom. No, that's great. I'm really glad that that I was able to help, and yeah, with my expertise of essential oils and scent and that kind of thing, able to get her to what she needed. Because like you're saying, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, it's lavender. Oh, it's it's whatever. Especially lavender's the big calm one, and there's some scientific research behind that. But people come in or I don't work at Magus any longer, but they used to come to the store like, oh, I need something for calming, and I heard lavender, so that. I'm like, okay, but if you smell lavender and it isn't putting you in that space of like relaxation, it doesn't smell good to you. Like lavender's not my favorite. It's not even my second or third choice of like a floral. Like if roses are gonna do it, or if like a juniper berry is going to do it, if that's going to, you smell that, for like particularly like my Yule blend for like, the holiday Yule, it smells like Christmas. It smells like that wonderful, yummy pine cabin in the woods in the middle of the winter, just a little bit of spice. That's going to get me there. That's going to get me to that really calm, lovely place. So it's about knowing what your calm is, what your care is. I don't think that everybody's care is going to be going to the gym and benching, several times a week. That's not everybody's care, but that is mine. So, and resting in that and feeling good in that.
Mm-hmm. And that it's never just one thing. So when I met you years ago, 5-6 years ago, you had this regiment and it was just pristine and I loved it. And I totally you were my inspiration. I remember having a dream about you telling me I needed to go to the gym. And then I started going back to the gym because of it. So even in dream form, you're inspirational.
I try really hard. I like to meet people where they're at and then push them.
Yes. And it's that when I met you, it was, you weren't just going to the gym. What was it? 3-5 days a week.
Yeah, it about 5.
you had a food regimen. And one of the things for everyone watching, if you're wondering who I got the curry recipe from, them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
The famous curry recipe is from Swamp Lake Stephanie. And I remember you saying, oh, I never get sick. This is the stuff I eat.
Yeah.
It was because it's turmeric, it's garlic, and so it's
ginger and cumin.
It's whatever sense you need. And so it's like the perfect equation, and everyone's equation is different. Like the reason why this is at this time is because I come straight from Pilates, shower, put makeup on, and sit in front of the camera in pajama pants.
Perfect.
Like,
oh yeah, I'm not even wearing pants. No, that's not true. But I am sitting on my bed.
And that's how I that is part of my self-care, is just every week go to Pilates, and I can tell if I haven't. And it not only makes me physically my body was sore and everything because I skipped the past few weeks. But then it was also, I could tell my energetic vibration, my spirituality, my intuition just started to dim just a little bit. And it was no, we don't.
Yeah.
And so it's all about doing the things that make you raise your vibration and everything like that. And for everyone, it's different. I eat tons of fruit and everything. So I have my lovely little list of questions. Mm-hmm. So what are I know you go to the gym and I know about the curry, but what are your favorite forms of self-care for you personally?
For me personally, well, I've already kind of talked about setting myself up for success.
Yeah.
That is so important for my self-care. If I'm able to do that, not only can I reflect at the end of the day a little bit and take pride in the fact yep, got myself ready to go for tomorrow. I'm, there's small things. It's not I'm taking an hour at the end of the day to do whatever. It's okay, I've made my lunch. brush my teeth, set my coffee, 20 minutes, I can crawl into bed, and all of that prep work that I might have some anxiety about, just general anxiety about like, oh, am I gonna get up in time to? It's all taken care of. I took care of tomorrow already, and I can live tomorrow, and I can just be in my bed. So definitely setting myself up for success, finding out what those keystone behaviors are. Again, those are gonna be different for everybody, but for me, that's my nighttime routine. And showing for in terms of self-care for me, going to the gym. The last 2 years has been pretty difficult for me. I was like when we were working together and everything, like, I was hitting the gym and I was feeling good. And like, I was going like 5, 6 days a week. It was pretty crazy, but I felt good. I felt good about how I looked when I looked in the mirror. And that's only one part of it, but just in the endorphins of it and being able to like take care of my body in that way that my body just feels good doing it. And then 2019, I was really depressed and didn't really hit the gym as much as I wanted to, and then started going again in 2020. And then we know that storyline. So I really didn't take care of myself very well last year in terms of my physical health, just because I was like, well, cool, I'm not working. I'm going to play video games and order Thai food and pizza. I did that a lot, and there was some parts of that which were really good for me and really important to have taken the time just to not do very much. But I overindulged in that, and so really getting back into it this year, and especially this last month, switching jobs and having a schedule where I can do what I want to do, not what I want to do what I need to do to take care of myself. I can tell from that, I think it was that second day I started working, and this isn't a comment about where I used to work, but more on a comment of where I am now, of I can put work at work, and I can put home at home, and I can put friends when friends need to be there. I'm just feeling so much better. So having that schedule is super important. And taking care of my mind, making sure that I'm reading a lot. I have a stack of books right here. I literally work for a book publisher now, so the amount of reading that I get done is pretty ridiculous, but I love it. So making sure that I'm taking time to read and not just play video games when I get home, or not just play video games, but read, and to balance that all out. So having a balance and all that, and not working out 6 or 7 days a week, taking 5, taking those rest days. Those are really important to me.
Yeah, having the balance. And I think I agree with you that like over the pandemic and everything, things shifted and I became like a couch potato, but I needed it.
Yeah.
And then I like processed it. And now it's like, okay, going back to the gym and everything and doing that. And really quick, hello, everyone who is throwing comments up. Yes, we are having a wonderful day. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Jonah. And yes, Susie, I will send you the curry recipe. You know it. I'll bop that to you. I got your back.
It's really good.
Yes. And it's, I think another thing about self-care is calling people out, but also being called out. And the reason I bring this up is because my mom a few months ago said, "You sound arrogant when you talk to people." And I was like, oh, I was unaware of that. I had no idea, but she was pointing out that my ego was getting in the way of what I was doing and stuff. And she's like, you assume that people understand what you're talking about. So then you just keep going and you don't give them a chance to like contribute to a conversation. And it was really beneficial for me to have someone like, obviously don't walk up to just anyone, make sure you got that kind of relationship that you can call someone out hardcore. But it was important for me because I was like, wow, part of self-care is understanding my toxic behavior and where my ego is and where my flaws are, to move through them and to be the best version of myself that I want to be. And part of that was not assuming that everyone understands what I'm saying when I'm saying it. And it's especially with spiritual stuff, because I talk to most of the time people like Swamp Witch Stephanie, where I can go, oh, my chakras are misaligned and my root chakra's out of whack. I think I'm going to have some red food to fix that. And you would just nod. Yep, that sounds about right. And I had to be informed repeatedly. Not everyone knows what the fuck you talking about. And I was like, shit. So I'm so used to just speaking jargon all the time that I needed to be reminded that that's not the way that everyone communicates. And maybe I should pay attention to what other people need and want to be able to best serve them as a healer, but then also communicate with people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think part of, like we're talking about self-care is caring for others. If all I'm doing is going to work, heading to the gym, coming home, eating my meal, playing video games, reading, watch, rinse, repeat, I'm only taking care of myself, which is fine until you realize that there's other people in this world. You and I both know that I have a very large ego and I attempt to keep it in check. And I want to surround myself with friends who, like you said, will call me on things or call me in. Laura Tempa Zakroff, who is an amazing witch and dancer and just all around a good person, talks about calling people in. It's, bring them in. When I'm acting out, acting a fool, I need my friends to go, now hold up, what did you just say? Mm-hmm. And even if I was feeling a certain kind of way, like, oh yeah, that was fine to say, they're like, no, that joke wasn't funny. And I was like, okay, let me take a step back and go, oh, this is where you were at. And even though we love each other and we're friends, mm-hmm. friends can still hurt each other. So it's important to like treat each other with respect and call people in. And, mm-hmm. Obviously having healthy boundaries around all that and everything, it's not like you're, unless you are choosing a life of like asceticism and like giving and giving and giving, mm-hmm. having healthy boundaries around all of that, which can also be a point of self-care. Yes. I just want to say, like, on that note, like of giving giving to others can be part of caring for one's self and one's spirit and one's place in this world. It's also important to have boundaries around that. I was on TikTok scrolling the other night, and it just kind of, TikTok is such an interesting environment. It's very much like Twitter, where you can see really funny and wonderful and amazing things, and also, the problems in the world and the issues that are big and important and need work and need healing.
Yes.
And at midnight and at 12:30, exposing myself to that kind of work isn't necessarily healthy for me. It's going to keep me up. It's going to keep me thinking I'm not doing enough. It's going to keep me thinking of these kinds of things, which I think in a certain light can be good, but not when not when I have to show up the next morning.
Yep. Not when it's bedtime. I've caught myself doing that too, where it's like, oh, I can't scroll. I can't watch that right now because it's going to keep me awake thinking about it. Thank you, John. Yes, we will have a dance party. Sometimes an online dance party, because people are tuning in all around from the Midwest. And so we can't have an in-person dance party because some people are from like Michigan and Kentucky. And so we need to make it go online so we can all dance together. And thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Yes, I am a Cancer. And I don't remember what you are. Well, you're Aries.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, let's take 2 seconds and think about it.
I was like, I don't remember. I'm like, I do remember. I know this. I know this. You're an Aries. No, so
very true to type.
Yes, but it's a wonderful, like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's my Capricorn ascendant that both exacerbates but grounds it. Like, I'm going to get it done, get out of my way. It's going to happen. And either you're going to be part of this project or I would rather you just not.
Yes, like, it's fine if you sit down, but you just have to get out of my way. And I love it.
I'm going to need it by this time. And I like accountability. I like holding myself accountable and others to whatever it might be
Yeah.
whatever might be on the table.
I love it. I love it. I am the same way. Um and with like helping people and being in service to people for like part of your self-care. I know for me, part of my self-care is helping my parents.
Hmm.
Sounds really weird to a lot of people, but it's like no, it makes me feel good about myself, not in an ego stroke way, but in a I love you and I want to show my love, and this is how I'm showing my love with like acts of service or quality time or something like that. And so self-care can be involve not just you. I know self-care sounds like it's just you, but it can involve others as long
Yeah,
as you have healthy boundaries, because there are times
exactly.
with my parents and I've had to like call them and go, okay, you guys do know that I have a full-time job and a life, and you can't just call and be like, why aren't you in Hastings right now?
No.
Because I work. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? And it's like, no, I live an hour away from you. I'm not teleportation is not happening right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so here's a question, and I would like you to answer it first. Susie asks, how do you handle compassion fatigue?
Um, that's a good question because I do, and I come at that question from a real point of privilege. I want to help. I want to be there. I put up some pretty strong boundaries to combat compassion fatigue. I'm just like, I understand those are problems. I understand that you're problems, and I need to do what is keeping me strong and keeping me healthy and keeping me alive and moving. And so I put up some pretty strong boundaries around how much I let in and how much I do. And I understand that that's a pretty big point of privilege. I am able to do that. I am able to put my phone down, and I also I keep a pretty tight knit group of friends. When you're in, you're in. I am there for you. I am a ride or die. And if you're not, I'm a little bit distant. I'm a little bit more, oh, okay. You're acting crazy. Bye. Or, you're acting like is someone who I don't want to be around because it's just not fun anymore, or it's not fun to begin with, or whatever. So I just I do tend to have some pretty strong boundaries around who I let in and who I don't. And I understand that that's a pretty big point of privilege that I have. Not everyone is able to do that. People have obligations to community or family or, close friends or whatever, where they're not able to do that.
And I think you bring up a really good point, kind of like what you said about the Keystone and like doing the coffee at night and then the lunch and everything. So the thing for me, because I used to get compassion fatigue and burnout, and then I
Yeah.
became a bitter old hoe for a while. And I own it. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was this thing where it was like, I have such a hard time in the moment, in the energy, being an empath, feeling someone else's needs
Mm-hmm.
makes me feel like I need to help. And so what I do is I preempt it at the beginning when I know that I'm in my power. I don't wait until someone asks for something. It's like, oh, I will never help you move ever.
Right.
And I set those boundaries. It's like, nope, not going to happen. But it's also time constraints. I do not answer my phone. If you call, you can leave a message. What you should be doing is texting or email. And I tell my clients that too. I'm like, I'm a millennial. Text me. I don't answer my phone. I will call you back, but I will never answer my phone. And because for me, talking on the phone takes so much that I just can't give at any given moment. And so it's letting people know in advance your boundaries and what you're willing to do and not, so that you've kind of already said no. And then if they decide to ask for it again, then it's like, do you remember that conversation where I said I would never lift anything heavy ever? Just gonna point it out now. Okay.
Yeah. See, and I am the guy that you call. I am the person that you call when, oh yeah, I'm gonna move in a month. Hey, Saturday morning, I'll be there. I'll be there at 7 in the morning, have some coffee for me, have some donuts or whatever, and we'll get it done in 2 hours, or my friend and I were talking the other day and he's like, I'm dying in my house and it's so hot. I was like, I've got an extra air conditioner. He's like, oh, I couldn't. I was like, I'll bring it over, and like just ran it across the cities and hauled it, over there. So I am more of a physically compassionate giver kind of person. But if it's I've got a friend who's being messy and is causing drama, and her cheated on her boyfriend but now wants to get back, I'm going to stop you right there, because I don't have space for that. I don't need that in my life. That is high school shit, and you're 29. If anything, I want to ask why are we making those choices? So
choice for you.
Right, exactly. If you can't answer me, was that a good choice? Or asking like, how can I get some help? I'm not the person. I am not that person. That's not where my skills lie. I'm a little bit more like, okay, I need to get to a place. Can you help me to get there? Cool. I need something done. Let me go there. I'm not so good with the messy emotions, and I know that about myself, and I think people figure that out pretty quickly.
And then so you can't be there in that way. And like, as you said, for moving. So when I moved, I bet you can imagine how hilarious it was. I was just going to hobgoblin. It was sad. But I had friends, and I was like, I will feed you so much homemade food that you will cry. And they got like loaves of banana bread, pumpkin bread, homemade caramels, just like packages. And I'm like, thank you. And then they got like pizza and pop on the day of. And that's what I can do. I can do that at any given time. If it's food, it can be done. But manual labor is not. I can do it. I helped my parents move, but that is out of love. And I don't love anyone else that much. But I'm a Cancer, and I'm super intuitive. So like the emotional stuff, like being there for my friends. And now you're right. At this point in our lives, we are older. And so we don't get a lot of those 2 a.m. Oh my God, he dumped me. Oh my God, I flunk picked up. I don't get those anymore, but I did a lot in my 20s, and I was the person that you called, crying or needing to be picked up. Not because it's like, oh, you need to ride somewhere. It's like, oh, you're emotionally damaged. Yeah. And now we have to put you back together with some duct tape and hope.
Yeah. And so, I will say that if it is one of my like inner circle, like you're in my, not like my top 10 but in my favorites, we chat every day. They know, oh yeah, if something horrible happened, or some big drama thing in their life, they can absolutely call me. I am a Taurus moon. I do have that internal like space to bring people in. But if it's an acquaintance or something, it's just like you've got people in your inner circle to deal with that. I don't really need to hear about it, especially if it's a poor choice. But I can help someone examine that choice and hopefully help them find a good therapist. I know that was integral for me for like some of my own messy 20s nonsense, was getting a therapist to help me identify some of those feelings and problematic behaviors, and turn it around and go, here's how you take care of yourself. Here's how you get your emotional needs met. Here's how you get your physical needs met. So, yeah.
And that is, so like I've had therapists over the years and everything, and I'm not shy with my clients or the world that I do have PTSD. And it's like, for me, self-care is about making sure that I feel safe, and therefore setting the boundaries in advance so I'm not triggered and everything. And so with that, I also have like chronic illnesses where people are like, you're going to the doctor again? Yes.
You're like, yes, this happens.
Like the receptionists know me at every doctor's office that I go to. They're like, oh, you're back. Yes, I'm a frequent flyer. Let's go through the questions. And I'm okay with that because it is a lot of people, they're like, oh no, why would I do that? I don't want to bother anybody. And I'm like, granted, I am privileged that I have really good health insurance. And so I can do that. But yeah, so it's for me, self-care is also not only going to the doctor, but finding the ones that work for me and that respect the PTSD. And people are like, oh, so you mean like your gynecologist or something? It's like, well, yes, but also my eye doctor, my dentist, my dermatologist, they all are fully trained in like treating someone with PTSD, because that is important for my self-care, is because people who are supposed to help me take care of myself, they need to be equipped to do it. And so when you think about self-care, who is on your team? So like it is your friends and your family for a lot of people, but if it's also like your therapist or something, they're part of the team too. So who do you want to help you be the best, healthiest, favoritist version of yourself? And that's your team. And be aware of that, because a lot of people, I have noticed, like you're super picky, which I appreciate because so am I.
But with people, not necessarily with food. I'll eat damn near anything.
Yes, I love that about you. You always taste test for me.
That's right.
Some people are like, oh, anyone can be on my team because they're a nice person. Someone can be a nice person and ill-equipped to help you on your path. They can still be your friend, but they are not on your self-care team. And that's okay. Like you all on a boat, everybody better know how to fix the fucking boat if it's sinking. If someone's on there drilling holes going, I just want to help.
Right. Right.
You're like, no.
I'm a good motivator, but I'm not necessarily emotional crisis person. But, you know, if you need that Tuesday morning, I'm feeling lazy or I just don't have it today, I need to pick me up. You know, I'm good with that text or that, hey, can we meet up? I need, you know, a distraction. Like I'm good with that. But yeah, like for me, for finding a good therapist, I needed to make sure that they worked with, you know, the LGBT community. They worked with gay men. They worked with, you know, people who have my kind of issues, and my own spiritual, you know, my own path. I've encountered a lot of people who have said, oh, I had a therapist and they didn't really understand the magic thing or the spirituality thing. I'm pretty lucky that even though I've had several therapists in the last couple of years, they've all been super cool about the witchery. And I mean, you can see my altar behind me. They've been really cool with that because they know that that's part of, you know, what grounds me and is part of my, my journey or whatever. But that's not always the case. It's about being okay with going, you know, I've met with this therapist a few times. It's not working. I got to find someone else, and asking friends for recommendations that, you know, I've always recommended the ones that I've worked with, to people in my community.
Definitely. Like, how do you find the friends and family? Obviously, you basically find by yourself, but for the professionals, ask a friend, or if you have like, because it was my gynecologist who referred me to my dermatologist. And I love him. He's amazing. And I'm like, good, yes. So ask if you have someone that you like professionally that you work well with. Ask them. It's like, who do you think would work well with me? When I've needed a new therapist, the old therapist, I'm like, all right, this is a very specific flavor. I'm going to need someone who can handle this and who's not going to bug me. And they'll give me a list of like 3 names and they're like, okay. And then I'll do like a consult with each. And then it's who you're going to do this with. So here's a question. How do you incorporate self-care to bring forward an ideal partner? I'm not in a rush, but I want advice. Okay.
I am not the girl. I do not have a ideal partner. But if you find out, let me know. If she's alone. She's lonely. But I would say that is something that I've been told, and when I'm not in like a depressive state, is actually really important and very connected. Because for me, like depression and being single are very hand in hand, as they might be. There's a joke I was gonna make it, but either way, for finding the ideal partner, you want someone who is going to not only see you for who you are, but motivate you to be the best kind of person that you want to be. So if you're single, like I am, I always go, okay, how would I want to be in a relationship? Well, I would, if I wasn't showing up to work, if I wasn't taking care of myself, if I wasn't being a good friend, if I wasn't helping people in my life, I'm not sure I'd want to date me.
Mhm.
So it's about creating, taking care of yourself so you can let your best self kind of shine in the world. You know, if you're working all the time, if you have 2, 3 jobs, that's going to be difficult to maintain a partnership. And there can be financial reasons for that, and that can lead to being
Mhm.
in a state of singlehood or whatever. But so that there's a lot of factors that go into self-care and everything, but I would say taking care of yourself will mean letting your best self shine forth. I know right now, like I'm in a pretty good stride. Like I'm doing everything that I need to be doing. I'm paying down debts. I'm going to the gym. I'm hanging out with friends. I've got the good job. Like right
And
now, I'm
looking
doing.
fabulous. Let's just
Thank
point
you.
it out. You look
Thank you. I'm
amazing.
really like proud of this eyeliner. Like let's
I
just
I wanted to say, can we just pause for a minute
pause the self-care
and
and
just
just
when you
enjoy the beauty.
on, I was like, oh my God, look at that precision. Just the flawless upsweep of the God, not a wrinkle in sight, you
She's
gorgeous bitch.
you wouldn't even know that she's 40 years old. No, I'm not. I'm not.
Definitely. Oh, sorry, I got distracted
Yeah,
by a
yeah.
glamour.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. That highlighter catches the light and you're just nothing else matters, and that's okay.
Yes, it's just like, oh, it's so amazing. But I guess
Anyways,
for, for me, before having a partner, I want to be so like we always talk about being the best version of yourself, but I
hmm
also want it to be the favorite version of yourself.
yes, that's a good way of putting it.
So much less pressure. And so
hmm
before anything else, it has to be about you. And you can't think that someone else is going to complete you and that's going to be self-care, or someone else is going to come and do it for you, because
hmm
they're not. It is all about you. But then when you're in a relationship, for me, it's about respecting boundaries, because I've been in relationships where they haven't, about my self-care and stuff, and it's like,
hmm
okay, like my self-care is important to me. It doesn't need to be important to you, but you do need to respect it. And therefore give me the time to be in my big bird nest and to go to
hmm
doctors and everything like that. And so that for me is important. Another one in a potential partner is that they don't judge the kind of self-care that I have. So if you're in therapy and you have a potential partner who is throwing shade about that, or if you're on any kind of medication, whether mental health or not, and they're like, oh,
hmm
you shouldn't take meds, you shouldn't be with me then. I'm a pharmacy.
right.
Like, my God, no. And so it's about the for me it's those kinds of things, specifically for self-care with a partner. They cannot judge whatever kind of self-care I have, as long as it's not destructive to me or to them. Like,
Exactly.
my self-care is kicking kittens. No.
No, 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 or hardcore drugs or those kind of things. Well, I mean, like I was dating a guy a couple of years ago, and I went to the bathroom, and I was hanging out with some friends, went to the bathroom, and I could hear him outside the door. I think we were kind of getting ready to leave, and he was like, talking to my friends, he's like, so I think Marcus is a Satanist, and my friends who are also like in the community and cool about all of it and have like done stuff and whatever. They're like, yeah, and, he's
No.
like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And I'd already explained it to him and everything because sure, Satanism, Luciferianism, witchcraft, like you're soaking in it if you're with me. Like I'm,
Mhm.
that altar ain't small. I work for an occult publisher. Like,
Mhm.
hi, this is my life. Um, Ultimately he was not the right person for me, one because he just didn't understand the spirituality that I practice and live in this world. But he also had some like unexamined racism, so that also wasn't cool with me. So
And
yeah.
right, like I've had a partner who was like, well, yeah, that's like your abilities, your gifts, your psychic, your business and everything. But keep it over there. Like, don't let it bleed into your personal life. And it's just like, what? He's like, well, you have to keep it separate. I don't want it to be any part of our relationship. And I'm like, this is me. So you're asking me for me to leave the room to be in a relationship with you. That's not going to happen. And it's not like the only thing. I'm not
right.
a two-dimensional cartoon, though I sometimes act that way. It's more like with our spirituality, with our belief systems, it touches every part of our life. So our self-care does involve our spirituality, our pagan practices, our altars, everything. Like when people come over to my house, I'm like, ask before you touch anything because there's at least 2 altars in every single room. And they're like, what? And I'm like, if it looks pretty, it's blessed. Don't touch it. Because that's I'm like, it's my self-care. I got it.
You know, it's not like I'm walking into like a partner's Christmas or Thanksgiving with their family, like wearing 6 pentacles and have like eyeliner out to there. Like I'm fairly chill. Just when I'm in my space, I'm pretty comfy. I mean, like my stand is sitting on my my tripod is sitting on my like nightstand right now for this interview. But like, let's see here. Yeah, witchcraft book, ceremonial magic, tarot, Witch's Mirror by Mickey Mueller. It's a good book. This one's shitty. This one's great. Mickey Mueller. I mean, literally every single, and this maybe is a problem now that I'm looking at it, every single book. This one's really good. Oh yeah, if you are in the Twin Cities, I'm going to do a quick plug if that's okay. If you're in the Twin Cities this weekend at Magus Books and Herbs, Keldon, the author of The Crooked Path, will be teaching a class on the Witch's Sabbath, which is part of his upcoming book, which will be released in January. But Magus Books and Herbs, 2:00 this Saturday. Tickets are $20 and highly worth it. He's so good. This is so well written. He really did his research. This is actually an advanced reader copy, but really, really good. So just want to do a little plug for my friend and more witchcraft. So maybe I need a little balance in my life, but I love this shit.
Well, exactly. And like, I'm looking around and like, I'll do it now. So left to light, a Merlin stone, prosperity stone, shit, hyssop oil, jet, citrine, like this, and this is just what's within arm's reach on the dining room table.
Oh, right.
I haven't touched anything that's like set up around me. And so, yeah, it's like, it's a part of an active part of our lives. And so that's something with being single. It's like people need to be aware of that when they date you. And so, and it's also another thing with dating. Please, please, please do not lose yourself in the coupleness or the person. I have met so many people who it's like their self-care, their personality got like absorbed into a couple. So everything was we. And it got to the point where I invited someone like to do something. Well, I'll check if we're free. No, ho. Yeah. If I wanted both, I would have asked both. And it's so self-care is still having an identity when you're with somebody. It's not always a couple. And it's also not always about them and what they want. I had a friend who only ate at restaurants that her partner wanted to eat and got into, I'm sorry, this is judgment, sports.
Oh.
Why?
Go for it, sis.
I acknowledge and respect as much as I can the people who are into sports. But if you are into sports because someone is dragging you there and you're like, I guess I love you enough to do this, unless you are feeding me from every single concession stand and letting me sit on a pillow,
right?
I'm not going. And so it's with self-care, make sure that you're your authentic self all the time. even in a relationship, even when things are happening, because you don't want to get lost, because that's not self-care, getting lost in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. I really like what you said several minutes ago about being your favorite person. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because like, not to use a sports metaphor, but it just kind of comes to my head. Like, you can be the best one on the team,
Mm-hmm.
or you can be the best version of yourself. That's great, but that's not going to last. That's not going to last. Your favorite is going to last. They're always going to be your favorite. You're always going to be your favorite person. So even if you can't like extend yourself like to get into full drag on a Wednesday
Yeah.
after working 8 hours, I'm still my favorite today because I was able to go, well, I can do this. I can still show up. I can still put on some eyeliner. I can still have an excellent conversation, even if I wasn't 100%.
Yeah. And I think self-care and being your favorite self, everyone's 100% will look different from day to day for them. So, like, as much as you say, oh, this isn't your 100%, I feel like it is. You are 100% you. You are 100%
Mm-hmm.
honest. You put 100% effort into it. You didn't hurt yourself and run
Mm-hmm.
yourself ragged to do
Exactly.
more. And because that's not 100%, that's
Mm-hmm.
creepy. If you would have done that, I would have been uncomfortable. But you message, you're like, yeah, 8 hours and then 3 hours of is not
Yeah,
happening. And I was like,
it's not going to happen.
absolutely, sweetie. You wear
Yeah.
whatever you want. Like, do it up. Thank you for letting me know. So
Yeah.
you didn't like
Yeah.
pop on. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll put a little something on. Like, I still wanted to show up. I still wanted to be my, you know, my best self in this moment.
Mhm.
And I think that, and you were applicable to that. If you were like, no, I kind of want the drag queen, I want the look, I've been like, cool, let's schedule it for another day when I'm just not working. And
Yeah.
I would have been like super happy and okay with that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, who
Well, we'll
knew?
just have to do another episode when you're not working, and then we'll both have
Yeah.
to be in full.
Yeah. Full
full
geesh. Yeah.
yes, fully done up. Oh, Susie asked, "Is a mathlete count as an athlete?" And I would say
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You're part of the mathlete team. You crunch those numbers.
That's right.
Just remember the limit does not exist. I
Oh
had to
my!
make a Mean Girls reference. Come on now.
Oh, we all have to slip one in there occasionally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we are coming up almost on the hour, and so the other thing I want to talk about. So we've talked about what your favorites are, parts of self care, why you started the Swamp Witch Stephanie self care line, but so we've talked a little bit about ego. And I also want to talk about, do you consider like shadow work, dealing with your shadow self care?
Oh, yes.
Not everyone does. Some people get really
Yeah.
pissy with me when I bring it up.
Yeah, I think that it, I mean, I'm not like I'll say what I am, not what I'm not. Yeah, shadow work is super, super important. Part of my shadow, I know, is not feeling good about myself because I'm not doing enough, is overindulging in things that aren't necessarily good for me, whether that's like 2 pizzas a week and some takeout Thai food and regular cereal. Those are delicious things on their own and occasionally, and indulging in them in that way can absolutely be part of my self care, but that can slip into shadow self, and shadow stuff. I like going out and having a good time and indulging in some of the more like erotic moments of life. But if that's what I'm solely focused on and just focused on, uh, all of that and, going to parties that are erotic in nature all the time, that's not healthy. So doing that shadow work and really examining those behaviors and going, okay, what is healthy for me? And asking your friends for that, asking your therapist for that, and asking your spiritual team. Like, I think that is one of the things that we can absolutely talk about is going, yeah, are my guides telling me this is right for me?
Mm-hmm.
Or or am I listening to that part of me that's like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It feels good, doesn't it? Well, yeah, it
Mhm.
felt good 3 hours ago, and now
Mhm.
it's not.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I would
Yeah.
say shadow work is absolutely part of self-care. And there's actually a really, if you're, yeah, anyway, go on. I was gonna make a plug for a book.
Um, so for me, like shadow work, working with your ego is absolutely part of self care. No one wants to talk about it or deal with it because it's like, oh, it's ishy. No, it's all about spa days and loving yourself and
Nope.
toxic positivity. And it's like, no, it's about, for me, my most profound self care, besides doing the stuff that like my doctors tell me I need to do to like function. Um,
Hmm.
is physical therapy is a bitch. And
Yeah.
so it's doing the shadow work. It is not comfortable. It is not meant to be. Looking at the things that I have done throughout my life for good reasons or not, for
Hmm.
out of ego or out of desperation or anything, and going, where did that come from? How do I heal from that? What path do I want to, and really going through it. Um and oh my god. Okay, so Susie does want the book plug.
Okay, so if you're looking for a good book on shadow work, it definitely has a very strong witchcraft bend because me. It's called The Forbidden Mysteries of Fairy by Storm Fairy Wolf. I don't have a copy, but I have read a copy. It's really, really good. It does focus on the Anderson Fairy tradition, which is a particular path of witchcraft, which is what I practice. But it's really, really good, and it does cover things like shadow work. It does involve meditations and rituals of kind of doing that deep self work and getting in there and examining the behaviors and examining the thoughts that you might even think are helpful and that are part of you that are so deep and so integral that you're like, well, that's just a part of me. That's who I am. You can't
Mhm.
tell me not to be who I am, but is that healthy? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Are you evolving? Are you growing? Are you becoming your favorite self? Are you becoming your best self? Like that kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, The Forbidden Mysteries of Fairy by Storm Fairy Wolf. It's a very good book.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And as someone else is saying, whenever I reach a rough patch in my life, I say I'm going on an adventure. How very Bilbo Baggins of you.
Yeah,
I respect that. I
I love
want
that. Yeah, it is an adventure.
that is how I want someone to ask me on a date. And I'm so disappointed with my life that it hasn't happened yet. That no one has walked up. I'm looking for someone to go on an adventure. Yes, yes, and take me to a bookstore. Like that's what I want.
I think that's lovely. Actually, I think I've got a date this weekend and we're gonna go hiking. So I'll have to walk up and say, "Are you ready for an adventure?"
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll see.
we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how
Um,
it goes.
so yeah, shadow work is just a part that makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it was asked, is this a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness? Yes. And it's
Hmm.
looking at the parts of you that make you uncomfortable. And this can be done a lot. If you're going by like the wheel of the year, I like doing this in like fall and winter, like really going deep into yourself and having some self like reflection. And let me be clear, when you do shadow work, none of this is about throwing shade. None of this is about self-hatred, guilt, shame,
Beating
or
yourself
judgment.
up. No, it's about working through that. Oh, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago. December for me is a rough month. I get kind of depressed, seasonal, but
Mhm.
that's when all the neuroses and all of the shit that I've worked so hard to get through kind of comes out.
Mhm.
Um, I remember walking past a mirror, catching my eye or catching my reflection and going, I hate that person. In a way, I've never said it to anyone in my life. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, we have a problem. And like, I was able to catch it in that moment and go, ooh, 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 honey, no, 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 no. You know,
Mhm.
worked through it, talked about it. Um, I had a good therapist that was able to help me like work through those things and re-examine my relationship with my body. And I can talk it with the best of them, but actually feeling it and actually living it is a whole other, that's the work. That's the work.
Absolutely. And I always tell people whenever you're doing something, gentle curiosity. You're not even like intensely focused on, just gentle curiosity about what went right, what went wrong, or what's happening or what reaction it was. Because not just with like shadow work, but we've done episodes about like manifesting and sacred movement. And so when you're trying new things and trying to figure out your life and your life's path, it's not like, that didn't work, I suck. It's, oh, good to know. It's like trying new food, which everyone knows that I am such a picky eater. It's borderline. Like, it's borderline creepy. People are like, it's so comical. I'm like, yeah. So Alice and Lynette say hi guys. Thank you for tuning in. But it's just like when I eat something new, like the first time the Swamp Witch Stephanie made curry and I got to try some. Okay, I was aware of it. I didn't like it and I didn't not like it. And now it's one of my favorites to eat.
Well, I think there was even something in there that you were like, I'm not going to add that. I'm like, well, then don't add it.
Yes. And you were like, it doesn't have to be exactly like this. And I think that's so much, your curry is so much like self-care. If you don't want to put it in, don't put it in. And I actually don't put the Greek yogurt in because I never remember to pick it up at the grocery store. That's it. That's the only reason. It's not that I like it in there, but
it'll turn out just fine.
Yeah, it's still yummy. And so just be aware of your self-care and what it is for you. Gentle curiosity, no judgment, no throwing shade on yourself or anyone else. If someone is doing self-care and it doesn't look like your self-care, they're not doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It's none of your business what their big bird nest looks like. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone's got their own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you want to try, I'm going to bop it up again. If you want to try, I recommend, as much as I love the uncrossing oil for like anointing candles and everything, if you want to try self-care, I think doing a Swamp Witch Stephanie mask based on the aromas that you are most attracted to would be a lovely pampering thing, because self-care can be pampering. So you just follow the website and you get to just relax. And it's all because I have asked, because I have, this skin does not happen on accident. It is all sensitive. That's why I have a dermatologist. Every inch of my body is sensitive skin. And so I can use these products. And so I have no problem saying, oh yeah, sensitive skin, good. Totally fine. Natural, totally fine. I would give it to my mother as a gift. I have, so I love them and they always smell so good. So if you wanted to do something for pampering, I would do this. And it's not just, oh my God, I love the products in a physical way. It's because I've known Marcus, I've known Swamp Witch Stephanie, and I know the energy that they put into this product moves me on an emotional level. Like I feel a release when I use it. I feel better about myself when I use these products because I know the magic that went into it and I respect that. And I would much rather have a product that does that than like L'Oreal. It was like, just slather the chemical. No. So it's lovely and I love it. And so that is my shameless plug of my wonderful friend and colleague who has taught me so much about self-care since I met them that it just makes me happy to have them in my life. So thank you so much for everything that you do and the example that you give and your wonderful, wonderful eyeliner.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me. I've had a really good time, and I hope people listening to this now, or if you post it in the future, like can take something away from it. And yes, if you would like to support me, swampwitchstephanie.com it's right there. I'm pretty sure all the products are up to date. I'm out of a few things, which sucks, but I'm working on it. Putting boundaries around it because having my own business and a full-time job is a lot. But yeah, no, check it out. You know, throw some money my way. I also have a PayPal if you just want to, you know, put a tip in that tip jar. It's just at Swamp Witch Stephanie on PayPal.
Definitely. So we actually, before we sign off, we actually have a few questions for you.
Sure.
Like you're getting fanned all up in here. So we have
my Instagram.
First, how and when did you start Swamp Witch Stephanie? Because I love your stuff.
The short story of it is we had some other magical oils at Magus Books where I used to work that were not very good. I'm just gonna say it. They're fine. They're an all right product. They have their own fan base. I didn't think they were very good. Like, I could throw shade and whatever. Not gonna do that. And one day I was in the store. I was like, hey, we should be making our own. Like, we know how to do this. This is, in our wheelhouse. And my boss was like, if you want to do it, go for it. And my colleague was like, yeah, call it Swamp Witch Stephanie, because, the joke is I'm a swamp witch and gross and that whole thing. And Stephanie has always been the name when I want to act out and when I want to act a fool and I want to go do something ridiculous and stupid, but probably shouldn't for legal reasons. Well, Stephanie who's going to do that. Stephanie's the one who's going to go out and, do all the things. And the two came together in that moment, Swamp Witch Stephanie. And I was like, that's perfect. Magic, drag, woman, oils, scent, sea clay. It just all came together in that moment. And I think a week later I had some oil, some of my first ones that I had made in the store.
I love it. And then I do not understand this question, and so I'm going to read it and hope you get it. Is this the same Swamp Witch from Dragon Age? The game.
I have not played Dragon Age. I would like to, but no, I'm not in Dragon Age.
Good to know. I did not get that one. I'm like, okay, that's a nerd question outside of my scope. Like,
I'm a pretty big nerd. I've got 2 gaming consoles right over there, and I read all sorts of X-Men comics. I'm like a big nerd. I really, really do like it, but I've not played Dragon Age, unfortunately. I would like to.
Oh my god! Okay, so the comments are like, "Oh, I love Dragon Age and everything." So several people love it. So
awesome! Yeah, I've heard it's good. I really want to get it. And if you would like to help purchase the copy, you can buy products at swampwitchstephanie.com.
Yes. And and then I'm going to put my website up. And so for me, you come for sessions for Reiki to get your energy all taken care of. So this is more of energy work, is more of like the pampering you can get, and then if you want to come in for like a tarot reading or psychic mediumship and really get into some of the down and dirty, because sometimes you need someone else to tell you that you're being toxic, or why can't you have a relationship? Well, maybe it's because you lay down and become the doormat first. And to have someone tell that, I'll be nice. I'll be nicer. And so it'll be, you come for the personality.
I've had therapists really tell me straight up, maybe this isn't good for you. Maybe it's not good for you. Maybe it's not who you are. Pain, hard, doesn't feel good. But when you get there and you look around and do the reflection, you're like, oh, yeah, this is better than what I was working with.
Yes. And there can be lots of different reasons why you have roadblocks to your self-care. Mm-hmm. It can be something from a past life, you not feeling worthy in this life, something from a wounded inner child. There are lots of different reasons. You're not broken. We just need to have gentle curiosity to discover what your entire soul needs. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to do that, absolutely visit my website, schedule a session with me. Otherwise, again, thank you everyone for coming and doing this and having fun with it and just being present with the fabulous Swamp Witch Stephanie and me, Lily of the Light. And I hope to see you all again. And Swamp Witch Stephanie, also Marcus Ironwood, thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom and beauty and expertise in this area. I genuinely could not and would not work with anyone else on this subject.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you
so much.
You are the beginning of the 3-part series for self-care, and I can't imagine self-care without you. So,
oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for being a part of my journey, and hopefully the rest of these people who's watching, they'll contribute amazingly to their life also.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thanks for inviting me on. I really hope that people can take away little gems of wisdom and from this conversation and start to, add to their self-care routine or do something to take care of themselves. Oh, easiest way, drink water.
Yes.
People are like, oh, how do I get good skin? Drink water. Drink water. The more fluids you're flushing through your body, the more your skin will clear up. Yeah, that's just a fact.
Yes, and the more your body will feel better. I absolutely agree with that. I have my water bottle next to me.
Water.
Got hydration. So thank you everyone for joining us. I will see you in 2 weeks to do the next segment of self-care. Other than that, have fun, be awesome, ask questions in the comments. This will also be posted on the YouTube channel, Lily of the Light. Otherwise, go forth, do self-care, love yourself. I will see you later. Bye.
Bye.